everyone. Welcome to the Name One Player podcast. My name is Nicole. I am your host. And before we get into the episode, I just want to say a huge thank you to every single person for hitting play today. If you are a returning listener, welcome back. I am so glad that you listened to whatever episode that you listened to in the past and you thought, hey, this show is really cool, really fun, and I'm gonna come back. I'm never gonna miss another episode again. That would be really cool if you were thinking that. But at the same time, life gets busy. If you miss an episode, I will not be mad at you, I promise. But I am so glad that you are back listening today. On the other side of that, if you are a new listener and this is the first episode of the Name One Player podcast that you have ever tuned into, huge welcome to you. I am so happy that you are here. I'm not exactly sure how you found the Name One Player podcast, but I am so grateful that you have hit play today and that you're here. You have picked an absolutely awesome episode to tune into, and I hope that you love it. The Name One Player podcast is a place for women to talk about the sports teams that they love without ever being asked to name one player, because that's annoying. It's 2025. It is almost 2026, which is really crazy to think about. When will this episode be out? I guess it'll still be October when this episode is released, but November's coming up hot here. Then December, then we're in a brand new year, which is crazy. I don't even want to think about that. I'm going to have an existential crisis thinking about how quickly time moves. So, we're just not going to do that. This episode I am so excited about because we haven't talked about football in a hot minute. I mean, I do think I'd probably mention football in every single episode. The last episode that I did was a solo episode. Just kind of got my thoughts out about bandwagon fans and the negative reception that bandwagon fans have been getting, myself included. I 100% wholeheartedly will give myself the label of a bandwagon Blue Jays fan. So yeah, did a little solo episode on that. Thank you to everyone who's reached out and let me know their thoughts on the episode. I am so appreciative and so grateful for all of you for listening. And then the episode before the solo episode, we did a little bit of a hockey episode. The NHL had just started around that time. We had Liz on talking all about her experience working in the world of hockey. So definitely go back and listen to that episode. She had the coolest, most insightful takes about hockey that I've heard in a really long time. So I definitely recommend go back and listen to that episode if you haven't heard it already. But today we are talking about football. We're not talking about the Minnesota Vikings. We probably will mention the Minnesota Vikings. What I will tell you, though, what we are not doing, we are not recapping that game on Thursday, the Thursday night football game, Vikings versus the Chargers. We're not even going to talk about that game. We're going to move on. And honestly, I don't know about you guys. I'm going to pretend it didn't happen. It's a new week coming up and today is Monday. Yesterday, I got to just sit and enjoy the games that were on. I will say it was a struggle for me to watch the Sunday night football game. It was Packers against the Steelers. We had Miranda on not too long ago, who is a major Steelers fan, and she was talking about this game. So I was like, okay, I will definitely tune in for that, watching Aaron Rodgers play against his former team, the Green Bay Packers. It was so trippy for me because I do not like Aaron Rodgers. I do not like the Green Bay Packers. But the fact that I was rooting for Aaron Rodgers to win that football game, one, I thought it would be really cool. I saw that there's an infographic going around that if he won, he would be the first quarterback in NFL history to have beat every single of the 32 NFL teams, which that's nuts. That's absolutely crazy. Unfortunately, he did not achieve that. The Packers won by quite a bit. I don't remember the final score. I honestly don't feel like looking it up right now, even though my phone is literally right here. I could do it, but I'm not going to. Okay? Because what I am going to talk about is the fact that the New York Jets have won their first game of the season. They are no longer a winless team. Every single team in the NFL has won a game. The Jets were the last to do it, and they did it. Congratulations to them. And for today's guest, we have Kenny on. And I know Kenny through TikTok. She posts about sports, but she really posts about everything, which is why I love following her and seeing what she's up to, because she's posting a lot of really cool different things. But I do know that we stumbled across each other's For You pages because of the sports aspect of things. And Kenny is a New York Jets fan. I will let her chat all about her history and how she became a fan, all that good stuff. But we had locked in this date for recording, I guess, a few weeks ago. And by the time, Sunday rolled around yesterday, I was like, okay, either the title of this episode is going to be The Jets Have Still Not Won a Football Game, or The Jets Have Finally Won a Football Game. So that's the working title. I don't know if we're actually going to go with that, but if we do, that is the title. So I am so excited to talk about that game, recap the game a little bit. We will also talk about Kenny's thoughts on the Jets, thoughts about this season, thoughts about, the remainder of the season. Now that the Jets have one win under their belt, do we think that they can carry that momentum? Or do we think that this will be the only win for them? I don't know. The craziest thing, though, is that football this season, I feel like you can't predict anything. People are like out of jobs. These analysts and these like betting projectors, like, how are you supposed to know what is going to happen? Like, the statistics of it all are just completely out the window, which is kind of fun, I think. Like, waking up every Sunday and Thursday and Monday and being like, we have no freaking idea what's going to happen. The possibilities are endless, but we have Kenny on to talk all about it. And I'm so excited to talk about the Jets. I feel like I don't talk about the Jets all that often. The Jets, I feel like, is this team that I don't follow all too closely. Again, this season was a little bit different. The fact that they had 0 wins, I feel like I was kind of tuning in a little bit just to see if they'd win or not, and I am so happy that they won that game yesterday. So yeah, we will get all into Kenny's thoughts on the game, thoughts on the win, talk a little bit about what she thinks maybe some of the issues might be that contributed to, gosh, I guess 7 losses? If she thinks that this one win is gonna pick up the momentum and help Justin Fields and his team to success. Maybe the Jets are in for a playoff run. I don't know, but I'm very curious to hear Kenny's thoughts on that. I'm laughing because if I had to guess, my answer would be no. But again, like I said, this season is crazy. You literally cannot predict anything. It's like you took the idea of all the teams that everybody had and then like flipped it on its head. We have no idea. We genuinely have no idea. All right, I think I've yapped long enough. I think let's just get Kenny on here and hear her perspective on things. And let's talk a little bit of football because we haven't done that in a few weeks. And I am so excited to do that again. All right, everybody, without further ado, please welcome Kenny. All right, everybody, we have Kendall here with us. Kenny, tell me and everybody listening today a little bit about yourself.
Oh my God, where do I start? I am a Jets fan through and through. We just got our first win yesterday. Woo!
Yep.
I am a 4-time Emmy-nominated producer. I used to work for CBS Sports. I used to work for Nickelodeon. My dad took me to my first Jets game when I was 3 years old, snuck me out of the house, drove me to, at the time it was Giant Stadium. And then we went to the game, drove back home. My dad popped me in my crib, went back down to watch the 4 o'clock games. My mom came home, goes upstairs to check on me, and she's like, hello, your daughter's dancing in her crib. You want to like take her out, hang out with her? And he was like, I thought she was asleep. She should be sound asleep. And the rest is history. Like, I just, from there on, could not envision anything else that did not revolve around football.
I love that. Wait, so did your mom not know that you went to the game?
Not until years later. And we had lived so close to Giant Stadium that we could get there in 20 minutes. And it
Okay.
was like so long. I mean, this had to be in like 1998. Like, it was so long ago that you could still get into stadiums after halftime. So
That's
he drove
wild.
there. We went into his brother had called him because my uncle was at the game. And he was like, you have to get here. Like, this is an insane game. This call is going to take a while to overturn or to clarify. So, like, get in the car and let's go. And he was like,
Yeah.
I have Kendall. And my uncle was like, bring her.
Bring her.
Like, why are you acting like that's an excuse? My mom wasn't home. We went, we came back. And then by the time my mom came home, she was like, hello, she's awake. And he's like, oh, really? I had no idea.
Funny.
I know, right? And then
That's
from there on, it was
hilarious.
every Sunday, sit me in front of a TV with football on or put me in that stadium, and I am the happiest girl in the world.
I love it. Okay, well, I mean, I feel like that's how I was introduced to you through TikTok and seeing your Jets TikToks like at the games.
Okay.
I don't know what the exact like sound is or whatever, but if it was like if my mental health is bad, it's probably because 'cause I'm
Oh
here.
my
So
god, yeah, that was last year. That was and we thought my mental health was in a bad place then, not this year.
yes,
No, literally, I was like, "Oh, why would you ask? You think my mental
yeah.
in a bad spot?" And it's just, like, MetLife Stadium behind me in green.
And we'll talk all about the rest of the schedule and your thoughts on it, but Jets are heading into a bye coming off of a win, the first win of the
Oh
season.
god, oh my
So,
goodness.
very exciting for you guys, and we're gonna get all into the game. But is after the bye, is the Browns, is that at home for you guys, or is it
It is at
in
home.
Cleveland?
It
Okay,
is at home because
so we're
previous
leaving.
to against the Bengals, I was like, "Thank God I don't have to go back to MetLife for 2 weeks." I was like, "We have an away game, and then we have a bye, and then I'll be back."
Nice,
I do have
nice.
season tickets. So, like,
Okay,
I will go, and I will sit there no matter what our record is, no matter we already spent the money on it.
yeah,
And then I'm terrified at the point where it's like, okay, my family's gonna look at the scenario and be like, "The team stinks. We're spending so much money, like, we're not gonna get season tickets
yeah.
anymore." Now, season tickets have been in my family since we played at Shea. Like,
Wow.
my dad and my uncle had season tickets at Shea, and then we got more season tickets for the Giants, and now we have the season tickets for MetLife. So they've been
Wow.
family since before I was born. So I'm
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
scared that finally we're gonna be a good team in maybe, like, 5 years, and then we're not gonna have the season tickets anymore, and then I can't go. And then it's like, what did I do all that pain and suffering for?
Well, is there a wait list for those season tickets?
For the Jets?
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't. And this is so off topic, but I do know, and I did an episode on this, but when the Minnesota Vikings kind of showcase their male cheerleaders, because so many teams in the
I
NFL have
love
male
it.
cheerleaders, so
Yeah.
many people were like, I'm canceling my season tickets. And then so many people were like, I've been on the wait list for freaking years for season tickets, like cancel and then move me up the wait list, please. So, but no, it's a good point because it's like if you get rid of those tickets and then the Jets get good, which I could see it happen.
I'm
Football's
not saying
always
it's gonna happen in the
cyclical.
next, like, year, not even 2 or 3, but, like, I could envision myself being, like, 50 and being
Yeah.
like, "Okay, we
Yeah.
are a 12 and something team, like, we got something going on."
Okay, I mean, we're, like, super happy, upbeat vibes. I do need to bring down the vibe a tiny little bit and just say how sad hearing about Nick Mangold yesterday. The news breaking, he was a Jet for what, all 11
11
seasons?
seasons. I
Eight?
actually cried yesterday.
Yeah.
I was on TikTok Live, and somebody had called me a bandwagon fan, which I thought was insane
What
because,
cleared a bandwagon?
we were 0 and 7.
That's
We
always my
and,
favorite.
like,
Yeah.
this was me being on TikTok Live, like, before kickoff, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "You must be new here because I've been here every single Sunday in
Yeah.
my jersey, first of all."
Yeah.
And then I was wearing a Curtis Martin jersey, and I just started going off, and I was like, "Curtis Martin is my childhood." Curtis Martin, Darrelle Revis, Nick Mangold, like, those are
Mhm.
always the top 3 people I think of.
Yeah.
Especially Nick Mangold. He was a guy, like, I'm from Jersey, I live in Jersey. He lived in the town that I used to live in, like, he was a
Yeah.
community guy. And it was really sad because I
Yeah.
had just seen him post less than 2 weeks ago that he was looking for a kidney.
No, that's I feel like the most heartbreaking part of it. It's
Yeah.
just, and I think, and again, we're gonna get the vibes back up here for
Yeah, no,
sure
we
and
will.
talk all about football and everything, but, like, with these losing records and stuff like that, like, we're sitting in our homes talking about these players, but, like, these are players who are human with real lives, and at the end of the day, like, a record means
It
nothing.
means
Like, who
nothing.
cares? These are people that you grow to love, and like you said, these people were your childhood. Nick Mangold was your childhood, and the fact that not here anymore is heartbreaking. My thoughts are with all of you guys, all of the Ohio like everybody. Definitely thinking of you and his family too. It's just horrible.
I mean, the 4 little kids that you leave behind, I can't even imagine. He's only 41.
Yeah.
That is what is really sticking to me. I mean, I'm gonna be 30 in less than a month, and that's, like, 11 years difference, and it's
Crazy.
just like it's so young for someone that was such a good guy, and I watched Rex Ryan on TV yesterday talk about him, and that was the first time Rex Ryan has ever made me cry. I just every video that I saw, every photo, it was actually just, like, the saddest, most, like, realistic. I think this might be it's not even I don't like to glorify celebrities or even
Of
athletes,
course.
but it's the first death of someone that I don't know personally that I actually kind of feel affected by.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, again, not to football is just a game. These people are human, but I guess if I don't even know how to word this properly without sounding, because all of my respect goes to him and his entire family and the entire fan base. But if the Jets are gonna get a win, the first win
That's
of
what
the
they need
season,
to do it.
right?
He was
And
up there. He was up in that sky over I saw somebody photoshopped a picture of his face over the Bengals stadium, and absolutely, that's what it
yeah,
was. He was in the sky, he was watching, and I mean, he must have been as sick of this SHIT as we are, like, to be so honest. He was like, "You know what?" Like, I mean, I don't wanna make fun of I'm not making
of course, of
but,
course,
like,
of course. But that was a funny thing to
something
say.
had to be done, and he was like, "I am gonna channel all of my energy in
Yeah,
this team in Cincinnati right now," so I definitely think he was there for the win, but piggybacking off of what you say with their players, I mean, Justin Fields crying after the press
stop.
conference.
No, I have the screenshot of what he said.
My heart broke for him.
What okay, because also too, I only saw the, like, written stuff of him being like, "I was sitting in my closet this week crying." Did he
Yeah.
say that, like, actually in the press
Yeah,
conference? Is there a video of that? I need to see that
there
because
is.
again, it was on the New York Times sports part, and I was like, "I'm
Yeah.
not paying for that shit to see that." Um,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I need to see and, like, I was looking at that because I have the quote here because I literally was like, "Is this AI?" The fact that Justin Fields or like, just any athlete, but also particularly Justin Fields
Yeah.
because I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, the NFC North. When he played for the Bears, I remember distinctly I don't know the exact words that he said. The Bears were doing very poorly, and he said something to the effect of, the fans are giving me a bunch of shit and I don't care. Like, you think you're mad? Like, how do you think I feel? How do you think this team feels? You guys talking about this, it means nothing to me. All I
Yeah.
care about is how we feel. And I remember thinking that was hilarious because if
Mm.
the Vikings quarterback said that, I would like, because I think he really did say, I don't care about the fans.
Yeah.
I'm not playing for the fans. I think is it more what he said. And I was
I
like, not wrong. But
I
if
mean,
if my quarterback said that, I'd be, like, so upset. But then this was, I think, in 2021 when he was playing for the Bears. Now he's saying, "This week, I found myself in my closet crying on the ground, lying down." The fact that this man is able to get vulnerable enough and say that, like, hats off to Justin Fields for saying that. I mean, I don't love that he was in that situation, but I
yeah.
love that he's being open about that.
I feel like I can relate to that because I definitely have been the girl that has locked myself in my closet and cried on my floor. Like,
Yes!
honestly, what girl hasn't?
Literally, that's exactly
I
what I thought
love
I
a
said.
good
I've
dark
been there.
space. You can't see me, like, and I'm just gonna get it all out. I put myself in Justin Fields' shoes, and I said he was drafted by Chicago
Yeah,
to change the entire franchise.
did not
You
happen.
put so much pressure on one recent college graduate kid's
Yeah,
back to change an entire football franchise. Imagine. And then let alone, like, you didn't set him up for success the way you set him up Caleb Williams.
yeah,
You didn't give
yeah.
Justin Fields all of those weapons and
Mm,
receivers.
yeah,
Then he finally gets a new start in Pittsburgh, right? Starts 4-2 as a starter. His head coach witnesses that and says, "Nah, you're not playing good enough. Let me put in Russell Wilson," who
oh,
tanked this season. Then you get traded to the Jets. And,
yeah,
maybe the Jets are finally the franchise where you're sitting there saying, "I can finally showcase my talent.
yeah,
People can finally see what kind of quarterback I am. There's no pressure. This is already a dog shit franchise. Like, nothing I can do could actually be that bad."
yeah,
And I stand by that. Look, by the time Justin Fields can finally make his first read down the field, he's got 6 defenders on him.
yeah, yeah.
He's never going to be successful with that offensive line. No Jets quarterback will ever be successful
Of course,
with
yeah.
that
No, nobody could be.
offensive line
Nobody could be.
because that position has been a revolving door since 2010.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mark
that's a good point.
Sanchez, Bryce Petty, Christian Hackenberg, Josh McCown, Joe Flacco, Sam
Yeah.
Darnold, Zach Wilson. Like, you could name so many quarterbacks, and none of them have been successful. So that doesn't tell me we're a team that's a quarterback away, because hello, we were a team that was a quarterback away, got Aaron Rodgers, and
Exactly.
that was a team away from
Yeah.
making the playoffs, regardless of his injury or not.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a Justin Fields problem. I think it's an organization problem.
Yeah.
But for you to come out and be that honest with your mental health,
Yeah.
if I'm Woody Johnson,
That's what I was gonna say. Even when you said, it's an organizational problem, the fact that your owner is coming on the record and shitting publicly on your quarterback, like,
your
I
quarterback,
mean,
your fan base, and then
yeah,
your quarterback is like, "Oh, you wanna shit on me while I was crying in my closet this
yeah,
week?"
yeah,
I mean, if you ask me the question, "What's the issue with the New York Jets?" I'm gonna tell you it starts with the ownership.
okay, okay,
I'm a Mets fan, so I also witnessed this whole thing with the Wilpons and the Cohens, and the second the Wilpons sold the Mets to somebody that actually cares,
yeah.
they turned that franchise around.
Well, I was just gonna ask, do you think that the ownership will ever change?
I do think it will. I don't think it's gonna be as soon as we would love it to see, but I
Yeah,
do think that we may start to see the
yeah.
crumbling of the Johnson& and Johnsons as the owners of the New York Jets.
Yeah,
I hope.
well, I just again, and I maybe just because the Minnesota Vikings owners, like, I feel like I pay more attention to that than I do the rest
Yeah.
of the owners around the
Oh, I
league,
would too. I don't pay attention to any owners in the league
right? But
other than Jerry Jones and Woody
yeah,
Johnson.
okay, fair enough. Yeah. But I guess Jerry Jones has come out and said some not nice things about players too, but I just feel like and this might be completely like the psychology major in me,
Yeah.
the wheels are turning, but it's like, is this some sort of complex? Like, you can't play football, so you have all the money in the world and then you buy a football team and then you're sitting up there and you're just talking shit about players that you're supposed to be supporting. Like,
Yep.
if you want your team to be good, why would you not be doing everything you can to uplift people instead of saying that they're playing badly? Like,
That's exactly what I'm saying. If I'm Woody Johnson, the first thing after I hear that press conference is I'm calling him and I'm saying,
yes,
"Hi, can I get you a therapist? What can I do to make you more comfortable here? What can I do to improve your mental health here?" Because newsflash, nobody is gonna be 17-0 with a piss poor mental health.
no, not at all,
Better
not at
mental health is
all.
gonna lead to better play. I don't know if a lot of people have watched this documentary, but the documentary on the 2024 Boston Red Sox is one of the not only best documentaries I've ever watched, but most impactful because it really opened up the average fan's mind into the mental health of what a
Yeah,
player goes through. Now, mind
yeah,
you, baseball, way longer season. Day in, day out, you're playing a game. So mentally, do I think the grind is a little bit harder? Yes. But I think that there is a message in that documentary that can apply to all sports. And I would
totally.
encourage any fan to watch that because I think it gives you a little bit more compassion and empathy that at the end of the day, it's just human beings running around on a field.
Yeah.
Put yourself in their shoes for a hot second. How do you think you would react?
Well, two things to that. I mean, you mentioned about Justin Fields, how the Bears just did not set him up. And I do like to think that they learned from the Bears'
Me
mistakes. It was
too.
the Bears' mistakes. It was not Justin Fields' mistakes with setting up Caleb Williams. I totally agree with that, and I never really thought of it that way.
Coaching, front office, everything.
But JJ McCarthy, I mean, he's in the exact same situation for the Minnesota Vikings right now. Brand new quarterback, got injured in the first year, and I'm laughing because I'm one of those people who was like, he's supposed to change the franchise, like, and now he's injured and now they're not letting him play, like, what's going on? But it's exactly what you said. These people are humans. They are young. Like, what? Justin Fields is only
They're
26.
all younger than me, by the way,
Yes,
just this point.
exactly.
Everybody in the NFL, except for like Rodgers and like Kirk Cousins,
Yeah.
like everybody is now younger than me, which is so wild.
Wild to see, absolutely wild. But it's like when I was 26, if you threw me into this situation, even younger too, like getting out of college, your prefrontal cortex is not developed. These owners, these teams have a ethical responsibility to care for these players and their well-being and their minds, and it is sad to see when these billionaires just are looking at profits. Do you know where the documentary is on, like,
It's on
Prime?
Netflix.
Netflix?
It
Okay.
is so good. I don't think it's more than 10 episodes, I'm not sure,
Okay.
but, like, my eyes were glued.
Okay,
And
good.
again, I'm a Mets fan, I don't hate the Red Sox, but,
Yeah,
like, as a sports fan and as a person that worked in sports
yeah.
TV, I thought that that was the best
Okay.
sports documentary I've ever watched.
Good to know. I will definitely watch that. Yeah, everybody listening, definitely watch that. I mean, mental health is a huge component of my life. I studied psychology. I think mental health is so, so, so important. And it's really important for the fans to take a step back and realize that these
Yeah.
people are human beings and are going through a lot of shit. And we
I mean,
just
I remember when Sam Darnold came out and was like, "I'm seeing ghosts on the field," and I was like, "What do you mean you're seeing ghosts in Carolina? Like, what does that actually mean?" But then
yeah,
after I've sat back and watched
yeah.
what happened with Zach Wilson and what happened with Sam Darnold and this continuous cycle of the New York Jets, it really removed myself, and it made me say, "I don't think this is a player issue. I
Yeah.
don't think this is one specific person. I think this is a whole bigger ordeal."
Yeah, that is so interesting. And we will get back to my list of questions talking about the Jets, and we will talk about the Jets. But so interesting about Sam Darnold, too, because obviously he had so much success with the Minnesota. Well,
Hey, he had success,
he had so much success until the last 2 weeks of his career in Minnesota.
which was
Um,
my usual. So when Sam Darnold at the last 2 weeks was I was like, "Yeah, that's the Sam Darnold I know and love. What are you guys talking about?"
yes, and, you know what, too? It's funny, I used to live in London, actually, for a little bit. I lived in London, it was the best during the London game when it was
Oh,
Vikings
how
and Jets,
fun.
and, like, knowing Sam Darnold and his history with the Jets and just watching him have success, that was a fun moment,
Mm,
but taking a step back again for me personally, now he's playing in Seattle, and I live in Vancouver in Canada, so pretty well anybody that you meet here, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be a Seattle Seahawks fan,
okay.
and they're getting, again, the best version of Sam Darnold,
Okay.
and selfishly, I'm like, "Well, he can't win the Seattle Seahawks a Super Bowl." This is the
How do
other
you
thing.
think I feel?
Daniel Jones on the Colts was a Minnesota Viking. Sam Darnold on the Seahawks they were Minnesota Vikings at the same time. If we get a Colts Seahawks
Oh my
Super
god,
Bowl,
could you imagine?
no, I can't.
Wait, is
I can't
Tyga
have that. But talking about player mental health, I'm like, why, as a fan, do we almost root against these players' mental health? That's kind of crazy. I would love for Sam Darnold to have success. Would love for him to be able to get out of his mind of these last 2 weeks of his
Mhm.
seasons and find success because he deserves it. I feel like everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves to feel safe in their mind and at their workplace.
Oh my
So
god, absolutely.
I did want to talk about going into this first win of the Jets. I do want to get your thoughts on what it is like as a fan to truly sit there and be like, we may have a winless season. How do you keep coming back? And I know you said that this has been in your blood since before you were born, but how do you like talking about your mental health? Truly, like not even being funny.
I wish I could explain this to you. I just fear that no one other than, like, true Jets fans just know this feeling. It's just some kind of delusion where you literally wake up every single Sunday and you're like, "No, we could win.
Okay.
This is the week we're gonna win." Like,
Yeah.
never once let me actually rephrase that. Weeks 1 through 7, never
Okay.
once did it cross my mind the Jets are gonna be winless.
Okay. That's
Never
good.
was I like, we're not gonna win a single game this season."
I mean, even statistically speaking too, but
Yeah, it's
that's
pretty
good.
hard
That's
to
good that
do.
you have that faith. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do. On Sunday, though, I woke up and that was the first time I was like, we're gonna lose today." Like, I was
No
like there
way.
was no vote of confidence whatsoever that we were gonna come away with a win. But then I was
Okay.
like, the fact that I just confidently said, "We're going to lose today,"
Yeah.
means we're gonna win. We're gonna do something silly, and we're gonna come away
100%.
with the win today. That is just the way Jets games go.
Yeah. Okay. I do think that is part of the formula. It's like when you have hope and when you have confidence, it doesn't go
It
well.
doesn't go
When
well.
you just accept defeat and you're like, they're not going to win this game, it's a write off, whatever.
Right.
And you just you let the what is it? The law of detachment. You detach yourself from the outcome. You're just like,
Yeah,
whatever. That's
yeah.
when good things happen.
I've always said that, like, the games the Jets have no business winning are the games they typically win. But that's so true, like,
That's
I genuinely woke up and I was like, "No, I admit defeat, we're not gonna." But maybe that's, like, the mental approach they need to have to the game is, "You know what? We're
that's
not
true.
making playoffs, so
Yeah.
let's just do our thing.
Yeah.
Let's just be who we are, let's just ball out, and let's just have some fun. Maybe win some games."
Well, I'm not a huge baseball fan, I'm really not, but being Canadian, I am.
We follow in Toronto.
Yes, yes, and that's what they keep saying, I'm noticing, is, like, in their press conferences, they're all just saying, "We just have to be ourselves. That's it. We just have to be
Play your
ourselves."
game.
Exactly, they're all there for a reason, they're all professional athletes, even on the Jets, like,
No,
they're
literally.
they're better, again, than the owner. Like, if he
Exactly.
could play in the NFL, he probably would have, this little
Probably would have.
lifelong dream,
Look
but
good.
I wanted to talk about Aaron Glenn and
Good.
your thoughts on him, because I'm watching this game, and I'm just seeing first of all, the moment for me that I was like, "Oh my god, we have to talk about." The Jets are down by 8. They
Yes.
score their touchdown. They go
Yeah.
for that two-point conversion. It is originally called not good.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it and being like, "It looked good to me." I don't
Yeah.
really I don't really know. So I'm really glad that I don't know if the two-point conversions are one of the ones that they have to review all the time, but they reviewed it. It was ruled good, and I remember the commentators, I don't know who was calling that game, but they were just saying, like, the Jets are make this is a call that you do if you're not trying to tie the game, you're trying to win the game, and I remember thinking, "Okay, Aaron Glenn, he could have played it safe, he could have made the decision to just go for the extra point, the kick, and he decided to go for the 2, and I respected that. I really respected that,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, "Thank God it worked." Because if it didn't,
Oh, that would've been bad.
if it didn't work, I mean, that very well could have been, I guess.
Could've been overtime.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, and
Who
that's why
knows?
I
But yeah.
always laugh a little bit when people kinda go through this and it's like, "Well, if this didn't happen and the" well, it didn't happen, so who cares? Like, they won the game, they got that extra 2 points, it's good. But I just think in that moment, I was thinking, like, I mean, talking about Justin Fields and all the criticism that he's been getting, I'm sure, the head coach, his first season being an NFL head coach, he's getting a ton of criticism too. So the
Mhm.
fact that he was able to make that call and go for it and it be successful, I was very happy. But that's a very long-winded way of me saying, what do you think about your new head coach?
Okay, I may be the minority in this, I love Aaron Glenn. Like,
Okay.
when I was not happy when we got rid of Saleh, I wasn't happy with the way that we did it, I don't think he deserved to be fired mid-season.
Mhm.
I think he deserved at least to, like, end the season and then, part ways. When we let go of him, I said, "I want someone from Dan Campbell's team." I said
Okay.
and I was very specific because I said, "I don't want Ben Johnson."
Yeah, fair enough.
Looking
Fair enough.
back at it, I may have wanted Ben Johnson,
Okay.
but everything that Dan Campbell was doing with the Lions and turning
Yeah,
that organization around, I needed somebody that had that same mentality because that is what it's gonna take to turn
totally.
this organization. Because we
Totally.
are the Lions now, like, we are the new Lions, you know? And I think a lot of people may forget that while Dan Campbell is having a lot of success right now, he did start his first season 3-13-1.
That's a really good point.
If you wanna truly turn around a franchise, you're not doing it in one season. You could have a
Yeah,
season where you go 12 and whatever. You could win 12, 13 games.
yeah,
The following season, you could win 6, 7, and do
yeah,
nothing. If you wanna consistently build up wins, it's gonna take a little bit. So everybody
totally.
that's coming for him saying, "Oh, he should be fired," it's his first season.
Yeah,
Give him
you're
a
totally
second.
right.
Do I think maybe we should have gone after somebody that's more offensive minded than defensive minded? Yes, because we've historically always gone with a defensive coordinator and then given him his first head coaching job and
Yeah,
it doesn't pan out.
yeah,
I do think maybe it's a little different considering he was drafted by us. Now he's the head coach,
yeah. That's cool.
understands what it's like to be a part of this organization,
Mhm.
understands what this organization has been through. I do think he is the guy that
Okay.
can turn it around. Do I think maybe he'd have a lot more success with the new owner? Yeah. Do I think it's Aaron Glenn's fault? No.
No. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
love our OC. I don't really know what's up with the play calling. I don't love Steve Wilkes as the DC, but I think all of that will take time.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like it's rare to have a team where everything is
Clicking.
fitting perfectly. Like all of the pieces are there. But what I want to say first of all too, such a good point about Aaron Glenn because I did think that. I was like this looks like a Lions team and he or no, it doesn't look like a Lions team. They look this play call and going for those 2 points look like a Dan Campbell
Mhm.
decision. And as again a Vikings fan being in the NFC North with the Lions, the Vikings don't make those kind of calls. They are playing it safe like a lot of teams do. But Dan Campbell, he is the one who is making those ballsy decisions and they're going well for him. Like again, if you look at the statistics of it all, like you make a ballsy decision, either it works or it doesn't work. And like they're working more often than not. So I don't love that it had to come from the Lions, but I guess I'm glad that now this is
They're
moving
away
to
from the
the
line.
NFC. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, sure, let's go with that. I really haven't been watching the Lions. I do everything I can to not watch the teams.
That's fair. I don't watch
Yesterday,
the Patriots.
oh my God, last night, again, this is a nice segue because I want to hear about Aaron Rodgers and your
I was
thoughts.
watching my former quarterback and my future quarterback at the same time. So
Well,
very
I'm
weird.
watching the team that I dislike the most and the player that I dislike the most, and I'm rooting for the player that I dislike the most. It
I
was such a mind fuck, really it was, but
my mind when I was like it was like the 4th quarter, I was starting to get a little sleepy. I turned
yeah.
my head over and all of a sudden I just hear, "Go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go." My eyes shot open and I was like, "Isn't this a Steelers home game?" Because the Steelers are also a team that travels well. I mean, the home opener against the Jets, that was, I would say, 50-50 Jets and Steelers fans.
Yeah. I wanna know, again, from the insider Jets perspective, what went down? Where did it go wrong? And I can't believe that I want to deep dive on Aaron Rodgers because again, I can't stand that man. But I want to know talking about the ownership and the coach being fired and getting all these pieces to work around him and then them just being like, bye. Like what happened there from
I
your perspective?
I don't know. I think it was almost the same theory as LeBron, where LeBron was acting as the GM, the
Yeah,
owner, like all of that was like, you want me to play here? You have to bring in Randall Cobb. You have to bring
yeah,
in Alan Lazard. And how Alan Lazard is still on the team without Aaron Rodgers being on it blows my mind. This year, when we went into week 1 and he was, chirping and talking, I was like, why do you feel so deeply about the Jets? I get it if you're saying all this about the Packers, but why are you saying this about the Jets? Because what did we do to you? How did we
yeah,
wrong you?
yeah,
You came in, you tore your Achilles. First season was a wash. We didn't do
yeah,
anything to you.
yeah,
Whole fan base was here to rally around you.
yeah,
Then you come back last year. Yes, there's an attitude shift. It's no longer the hype of 2023 because I don't think that there is a time in my 29 years where my hope had ever been so high as the hype going into the 2023 season. I mean, I had
wow,
chills and goosebumps running all down my body that 9/11 game, him running out of the
yeah.
tunnel. I had just bought in his jersey at like
Wow!
5 because I was like, "You know what? No, I'm not gonna buy it online. That's not special. I'll buy it at the stadium right before kickoff." Double down on that. I'm dating a Buffalo Bill fan.
Okay, you guys are
So
in the same division, right?
same division.
Oh, that's tough, how do you do it?
We've gotten the backstory how I've been a fan since I'm 3. My boyfriend started being a Bills fan when Josh Allen was drafted.
Okay,
So he
okay.
doesn't know the Bills being the laughingstock of the NFL.
Yes, yes,
He thinks it's funny that it's, like, us. But I really have the last laugh because I was like, I remember when everybody was looking at the Bills, like, "Alright, we're on to next week."
yeah,
I was like, "I hate to burst your bubble, but once Josh Allen is done and retired, you're gonna be back to that same exact spot."
yeah,
So,
I
like,
completely agree.
don't write a check your ass can't cash. You know? So, I mean, I was sitting there next to him during that game, and he was like, "Sorry, but, like, you're gonna lose, your season's over with." Xavier Gibson runs back that kickoff, and overtime, I'm screaming in his face. He has Josh Allen jersey on, he zippered up his jacket so no one could see. We're walking out of the stadium, I unzipped that thing. I was like, "He's a Bills fan, don't talk to him." We
Yeah.
have gone to Buffalo. We've
Yeah.
gone to Buffalo twice now.
Have you broken any tables?
He has. I
Th
haven't.
honestly, that's my dream. I was gonna say, does he have any single friends? Because this is what I've decided I need.
Is
I
he a
need to
Buffalo
date
fan?
a Buffalo Bills fan
Okay.
because and I've said this probably a million times on this podcast. The Buffalo Bills are the Minnesota Vikings of the AFC. Like, they are
Okay.
the identical team, and I have because 'cause I've dated Packer fans, and it doesn't work. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's tough.
it does
Thankfully, we're both Mets fans, so, like, we can agree
okay,
on that.
okay, you have some common
And I am the
ground.
bigger football fan.
Okay,
So it's
okay,
not
that
like
works.
I have more knowledge. So, like, any, argument he wants to start, I can provide the facts as to why
Okay, yeah, you can back you
maybe
can
he's
shut
not the
him
right
down and you have the points to do it. But also too, like, and I'm sure you know, some stadiums as a woman, I'm not gonna go to the away game. Like,
Oh,
as
no.
a Minnesota Vikings, like, I'm never gonna go to Philly. Like, I'm never gonna do that.
You don't
And
mind?
no, no,
I
do you
okay.
think I could?
Okay, I always said the same thing. I was like, as a Jets fan, I can never go to New England, but that was the
Okay,
caveat. I could never go to New England while Tom Brady was the quarterback
okay.
because that was like a guaranteed loss, pretty much.
Yeah, but
Now that you know
I'm
how
more talking about the fan base because I don't necessarily know of New England
to
fans
get to
being
Philly and
nasty. I think
why.
of Philly fans as being nasty. But my point going back is I think of Buffalo Bills fans being a very welcoming
Okay,
community.
wait. I was gonna say this, and then you saying that was actually perfect. Anytime I have gone to Buffalo,
Yeah.
I don't wear anything, and it's never been a Jets Bills game. Like it was Bills Bucks, and then we went up in January for the Ravens Bills playoff game too.
Okay.
And every time I've been there, I will turn around to people and I'd be like, I am a Jets fan. Like I
Okay.
am not gonna cheer for the Bills. I'm here to support my boyfriend, but I fan. And every single person I have told that to is like, I'm so sorry. Like, do you need me to get you a beer? How can I help you? But
That's
fans
amazing.
are actually the nicest group of people.
I love
I
it.
like, I was shocked because I know how I am. Like, I will sit there I think I was, like, 9 or 10 years old, and I think, "Oh, we were playing the Packers." It was the first time I ever yelled at a fan. I was a
That's
little girl, I was
crazy.
10 years old, and the guy behind me had on that stupid little cheese
Jeez.
thing,
Yeah.
and he really was like, whipped my head around, and I was like, "Shut up, and take that stupid thing off your head."
That's honestly kind of
Maybe
iconic.
I took some bad qualities from my dad going to so many games with him,
I feel
right?
like you can get away with it when you're 10 though. I
Yeah,
feel like
maybe when it
yeah.
everybody was probably like, "Look at that girl, like, I want my daughter to be like that."
Yeah.
But it's
That's
like, I
amazing.
know how I can be with, like, other fans, so the
Yeah.
fact that, like, all of them are all on the same page, it must just be that they're, like, near Canada and the people are just so much nicer,
That could be it. That
but,
could be
like,
it.
everyone is genuinely, like, so nice. Like, no one was like, "F the Jats," or, like, something, like, crazy, they were like, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah, because even again, I've only been to 2 home games in Minnesota. I don't
Okay.
count the game in London. I mean, it technically was a Vikings home game, and it really did feel like I was at US
Doesn't
Bank
count as a
Stadium.
home game, but it definitely counts as, like, a really cool game to go to.
Yes, yeah. But one of the games that I was at, it was the home opener, Vikings against the Packers, and like the Vikings fans were a little nasty to the Packers, but
Okay.
still in like a fun way. I was never like concerned for anybody's safety, and that
Well-being.
honestly is a big part of it,
Yeah.
unfortunately, as a woman going to games.
Yes.
Sometimes you do need to worry about your safety, which is, like,
In
insane.
terms of that, then yes, I would say not going to Philly or
Okay.
Baltimore, because, I mean, I think the story came out last year with the Baltimore fan that, like, physically assaulted somebody after the game, which is wild. The fact
Wild,
that, like, any
wild.
non-player cares that much, which goes back into the thing, like, what we were
Yeah,
talking about earlier. If you as a fan care that much, imagine how the players feel.
yeah,
They
yeah,
care 10 times more, like,
yeah.
so stop. So I do agree that, like, safety in stadiums can be like, a big concern. I actually don't think I've thought about that in terms of MetLife because I've never felt unsafe at
That's
Met
good. That's
ever.
good. Last thing about the Jets before we move on to talking about your sports content creation and just your life content creation. And I'm so excited for this conversation. But I want to hear what you think about the rest of the season. You're going into a bye week, then Jets are playing the Browns. I don't know about the rest of the season. I looked pretty quickly. Looks like there's some tougher opponents.
I mean, if you can't beat the Carolina Panthers, your schedule really doesn't get that much easier.
But looking at this momentum from this win
Yeah.
against the Bengals, I don't think really anybody thought they were gonna
I
win.
thought Joe Flacco was gonna throw for, like, 500 yards. Chase was gonna have, like, 200 yards.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Jamar Chase, like, I didn't even really see him. Like, where was he? What was he
With
doing? I
no
don't
Sauce too, that's crazy. Sauce or Garrett Wilson didn't play yesterday, so the
Yeah.
fact that Chase was held to, like, a I played Chase in fantasy yesterday, so he did put up some, but, like,
Okay.
he didn't score a touchdown.
Which I do think the way that I was watching the Bengals play, I feel like is similar to what you can expect from the Browns almost because the Bengals, like, they just didn't look good. What I will say though, I was sending my friends some voice notes like while I was watching the game and then they showed Joe Burrow on the sideline. That man, oh man, that man, he's like wearing this like gray hoodie, got his
Oh my
headset on. The day that Joe Burrow is a coach in the NFL,
Mm.
actually, honestly, I feel like his career probably is gonna be bigger than that. I don't know that he's gonna go the
I
coaching
feel
route.
like I could see, like, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, like, going into hiding after their NFL careers
Oh,
are
I thought you were gonna say going into, like, co-hosting a show together, and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
no.
that'd be so fun."
I do think that would be so fun. I don't think
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Justin
Yeah.
Herbert's gonna be in the spot he already hates cameras. I don't think he's gonna be in the spotlight post his career being over, and I kinda get that vibe from Joe Burrow after the break-in of his house,
Yeah,
and after all of
true.
his personal life was kind of delved out
Aired
to the
out
internet.
there.
I
Yes, that's true. That's true.
That's another team that needs an ownership change. I won't get into that, but the reason Joe Burrow is getting hurt, and it's because you don't give him the O-line to protect him. I think the Bengals and the Jets are very similar, where they have those same issues. Comparing the Bengals to the Browns, I think they're almost opposite right now. I
Okay.
think with Joe Flacco at the helm in Cincy, the fact that Joe Flacco went from being abysmal and got benched on the Browns to now a starting quarterback in the Bengals should tell you enough about the Browns organization
Yeah.
within itself for this year. If Shedeur starts versus us, makes his first NFL start against us, I do think we could sit there and be totally surprised by what that kid does.
Okay.
I think we're in trouble when it comes to the Browns defense. I do think the Browns have a decent defense because in watching
Yeah.
the Bengals yesterday, the Bengals can't tackle.
No, yeah, the Bengals defense was
You had 3 defenders
yeah,
on a man that caught a pass, and he still went another 10 to 13 yards after the
yeah,
catch because you couldn't tackle him. You tackled your own player, and then that caused him to go,
yeah.
like, another, like, 3 or 4 yards.
I'm just looking who the Browns are on a bye week too, it
The
looks like.
Brown are the Browns also on a bye?
Yeah, looks like it. Because yeah, I was gonna say that'll be interesting to see who they play this week at
Yeah.
quarterback, but
Okay, then that makes
I guess
sense.
they have even more time to
So,
think about it and figure it out.
I feel like it's a decision that's gonna be made within the bye week. I think if Gabriel starts, we have a way better shot at winning that game. However, I just get the sense and the vibe that if Cleveland's down at halftime and they're like, "We're playing the New York Jets, like, what are we doing?"
Yeah.
I feel like Shedeur can make his first start against us.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what time is the game? 10? I probably won't watch, but
Oh my god, I forgot about the time difference for you.
oh my god, I say this all the time. I think it's the best time zone to watch football in. 10 a.m.
You
start.
think?
Oh
Okay,
my god, I will die on this hill 100%.
okay.
Especially, to be fair, I have not watched a full day's worth of games in the Eastern time zone, but the way that I look at it is you wake up 9 o'clock on a Sunday, like you can wake up hungover and you're good. Okay, you make yourself a little breakfast if you feel like it. You can make yourself a coffee. You have time to settle in before the first game starts at 10 o'clock. Second round of games, 1:25 ish. Third round, primetime games start at 5:20 p.m. End at 8:30, 9 o'clock. You're in bed, you wake up, you can go to work the next morning. Like, it's not a crazy late day, and the start, I know some people are like, "Oh my god, that's so early." I personally feel like 10 o'clock is not that early. What I will say though, the games overseas when they're in Europe, the 6:30 start, that's a
Ooh,
little bit
yeah.
tough, but especially too when the Vikings, I mean, they won the second week when they beat the Browns actually in London, but when they played the Steelers in Ireland at 6:30 AM,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and they've lost, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, well, now my day's ruined." So,
That's true.
great.
I actually feel the opposite. When the Jets lose in London, I'm like, "All right, at least that's over with, and then I can enjoy the 1 o'clock game." So I can enjoy the rest of my day of football.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, I stand by it. Pacific time zone, best time zone for
Okay,
football.
I feel like I would like football kicking off at, like, noon. I feel like 10 might be a little early for me. Just because, like, I also love falling asleep. I may be crazy, but I love falling asleep to football.
No, it's the best noise. I will say, yeah, football and golf. Those are the best nap noises that there are.
Because
So,
it's just like I'm focused and I'm paying so much attention, I don't even feel myself drift off to sleep. And then I wake up I'm like, "Oh my god, who won?" Sometimes I hate that, but sometimes if I don't care about the game, I'm like, "This is, like, the best thing to fall
the
asleep to."
best background noise. I completely agree. Okay, so we think Cleveland, bit of a toss up. Do you think that the Jets will at least get one more win this season?
I gotta peep the schedule real quick. So we go Browns, and we go Thursday night in New England. That's a loss. I mean,
Okay.
the way that New I can't believe I've literally lived through the Tom Brady era. We've been rebuilding since I was born. They had, like, 3 or 4 or 5 years, and now they're back to being this powerhouse. It's unfair. It is
No, it's unfair.
so I think you lose against the Pats Thursday Night Football. The Ravens game, that's my birthday.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Thank you. If Lamar's back, I think that we lose.
Okay, fair enough.
The Falcons game, who knows?
Yeah, that's
Falcons are
kinda
beating the Bills, and then the Falcons are losing. Like, what is going on there?
yeah,
And I will ride for Michael Penix because I love any rookie quarterback. I said the same thing about JJ McCarthy.
yeah,
Even though he was hurt and that was why he had to sit back for a season, I think any quarterback that is drafted and not immediately thrown into the pits of the fire
mhm,
is going to pan out better in the NFL. So
yeah,
the fact that Penix sat behind Kirk Cousins for 2 seasons, learned how, like, the NFL scheme works, learned
yeah,
timing, learned cadence, learned every little tidbit that he could. I think that is gonna set him up to be a better quarterback for the longevity of his career.
yeah.
I don't know what we're looking at, though. I say between Atlanta, Miami one more time, and the Saints, we get one more win. I think we drop both to the Pats, we drop both to the Bills, but between I mean, Miami's even yesterday, like, what was that Miami Falcons game?
Yeah, it really and you know what? This season, this NFL season is insane,
The only team I feel like I can actually count on right now is the Indianapolis Colts,
which is insane.
which is crazy. What am I in, 2007? The Colts, the Steelers, and the Pats are atop of the AFC?
Yeah, it's, I don't know what is going on. I mean, I guess it is fun, but it's confusing.
It's
Like,
I'm
it's
in a
just
survivor pool, right? And every week, I don't know how I've made it this far, but every week I'm like, well, what am I gonna do? Because I mean, this week I was like, oh, I'm taking the Falcons. Like
yeah,
I'm gonna take the Falcons.
yeah,
I mean, the Dolphins are terrible. And then I happened to be on live while I was doing that, and everyone was like, don't take the Falcons. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna touch a 1 PM game. I'm gonna take the Colts, which I did. But now it's like I've taken the Colts, I've taken the Bills, I've taken all like the teams you can rely on.
you can't rely on them anymore.
Like, I think even the Packers sometimes, I'm like, You should've won that." Like, week 3 or week 4, I forget what game it was that they lost.
Against the Browns.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
And I don't know if that's credit to the Browns' defense. I do think they've been able to hold offenses in check this season, but I don't know.
You know what? Maybe the Browns are better than I'm giving them credit for, but I also think too the Browns lost to the Vikings and the Vikings were not playing well that game. But again, it just goes to the show like they beat the Packers and I think it might have been week 3 because week 1 and 2 everybody would not shut up about
Yeah,
the
I
fact
think it was
the
week
Packers
4.
were going to win the Super Bowl and then they lost to the Browns. So that was just yep, very sweet for me to see, but I think that's a good way to put it. This season is just an anomaly. We don't know what the hell's going on. The Jets, maybe they win out the rest of the
Maybe
season.
they make the playoffs at this point, honestly. Who knows?
You really never know, but I'm excited to follow along. I do, especially too with Justin Fields and Aaron Glenn. These are two people I feel like you can root for with their circumstances, and yeah, why would you not root for the man who said that he was crying in his closet
No.
and was getting emotional on the field because God is good, and just like looking at that situation, why would you not be like, "Okay, yeah, let's
It's
keep
just
this
like
going."
it's the fact that he came out publicly and was like, "Yeah, I was crying in my closet this week," and then still went out and, like,
Yeah.
competed.
And what? Yes.
You're
That's so
0-7. He
true.
didn't lie down. And, like, mind you, all I see in my head is that beautiful pass he threw over the middle of the field that went for,
Yeah.
like, 30 yards. Stop saying he can't throw the ball. He can throw the he's a quarterback.
Mhm.
He's played his entire life throwing the ball. He knows how to throw the ball, okay? Give him the opportunity to make the play.
I love it. All right, Kenny, moving on. We touched on this before. We introduced ourselves to each other through TikTok. I follow a ton of women in sports content creators, but what I love about your content is, I mean, you literally say it in your bio that like you refuse to pick a niche. You're definitely posting Jets content, but you're posting a ton of stuff. So I'm so curious. Tell me about what got you inspired to start creating content online? Like, I feel like posting your life is always a scary thing to do. So tell
Mhm.
me about what motivated that for you, and tell me about this whole idea that you don't want to fit into one specific niche.
Okay. I do so many things in a day that I couldn't just post about one thing. Like,
Okay.
sure, I could make all my content about the Jets, but like, I love going to new coffee shops and
Yeah,
trying new coffees. I love going to the beach. I love snowboarding. I love traveling. Like, I love doing so many different things that I refuse to just post about one online.
I
Because
love
here's the
that.
thing, if I picked a niche and I was like, I'm just going to make this about sports, it would be Kenny talking sports. Like, I would have so many different profiles.
Yeah,
Kenny talking sports, Kenny talking coffee, Kenny travels, Kenny this, Kenny that, Kenny this. So would you rather I have 10 different pages or one page where I'm posting everything? I like to do so many different things and I'm not going to pigeonhole myself either.
totally. Totally. And I feel like that was when like influencers and content creation, like all that kind of stuff, started to become more popular. I'd say maybe within like the last 5 years. Everybody was really saying that you have to hone in on a niche. You have to pick a niche
They
because
still
if
do.
you're just putting out all of your information to everybody, then you're not going to get like a targeted audience.
Yeah.
But I feel like now things really are shifting. And it is really nice that you don't have to pick one specific thing because, like, pigeonhole honestly is the best word for it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, of course, like, it's really great to make that community or whatever of like-minded people who are looking for a specific thing from what you're posting and then are able to find it easily, whatever. Yeah, that's good. But at the same time, yeah, like, you love to do so many different things. Why would you just stick to the one thing that you love when you love a
And I'm
million?
not knocking people that do. Listen, I think that niching down and picking one thing to kind of create content is the gateway to growing rapidly more quickly.
Yeah,
Do I think I may have more followers, more engagement, whatever, if I only stuck to sports? Yeah, honestly, I do. But like, that's only showing like a small part of like the things that I actually like and care about.
yeah,
So I'm not going to that to myself. And then what happens? Like, again, that's all I'm posting about. And then one day I want to post this video and I can't because that's not my niche, then I'm being inauthentic because I'm not
yeah.
posting what I want to post.
That's totally true.
And if there's one thing anybody that knows me in real life, I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be myself and I'm not going to do something I don't want to do.
Totally. I absolutely love that. Do you have any advice for women who maybe do want to start talking about sports, but kind of do like exactly what you said, like don't want to just pigeonhole them? We'll use that word because I do think it is appropriate. Do you have any advice for women who want to get out there and start posting?
I think the hardest thing you're going to run into is men not accepting that you know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
You can put in all of the research, all you can put your all into a video and someone is gonna scroll up onto it, see a woman, just see long hair, and immediately invalidate everything they're saying.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing. So it's one, not letting people rage bait you, accepting that if people are going to rage bait you, you don't have to prove your knowledge.
Yeah.
Because I say this all the time. Never mind. I gotta save this for when you ask the question later.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think I need to save that for your question at the end.
I think that's such a good point. A lot of people, men in particular, will just see long hair and be like, automatically
Yep.
don't know what you're talking about and like just stop listening to
No,
what you're saying. But before we get into that, and I do think that's a really great segue, but I'm not going to use that segue. We will use that segue after that. But I want to hear about CBS and Nickelodeon. How did you get into those roles? Did you always know that you wanted to work in sports?
I think it started in high school. People started asking me, "What do you wanna go to college for?" And I
Oh,
legitimately the only answer I have had was, "I cannot picture myself at a desk 9 to 5." Like, at all. Like, you telling me that I have to go to an office, sit there in my chair from 9 to 5 p.m.?
yeah,
No. I was like,
yeah.
"I see a world in sports." Then my mantra in high school was, "By the time I'm ready to be on the field." I don't know why this was the thought, because I would never say this now. This was my
Okay.
thought in high school, okay? "By the time I'm ready to take the field and have a microphone in hand, Erin Andrews will be pregnant and off the air." Why I thought at the time childbirth had anything to do with her having her job.
Okay, good point. Yeah.
I you can grow as a person. I
Yeah.
love that woman. She is so talented. But it started there and I was like, I want to be her. I think I could be the next her. I went to college and I double majored sports reporting and then communications.
Oh,
One of my classes, like my sophomore or junior year, was writing for the school newspaper,
nice.
the sports section. And then after that class was over, the teacher was like, "Do you want to be the editor?" And I was like, "Of the sports section." I was like, "Of course I do." And I got
No.
to work with another girl who was like equally as into sports. And it was the two of us running the sports section, which was so sick
Yeah.
because like no men in our section. And then I interned for an independent baseball team out here in
Okay.
Jersey. And then my mom's like best friend from high school, who's now I call her my aunt. She happened to be best friends with a producer at CBS Sports.
Cool.
After
Okay.
I graduated college, she was like, "You should meet up with her, have a conversation with her." And I was like, "Why have you been hiding this from me for so long? Like, I could have been in there years ago. Like, what do you mean?"
That's
I met
hilarious.
that woman for lunch, I handed her my resume, and then a couple months later, one day I was sitting on the beach and I got a call from somebody at CBS Sports, and they were
You're
like, "You know
kidding.
how to do this, and that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Alright, we wanna hire you." And I was like, "Great." So I did 3 seasons as a broadcast associate in the graphics department. First season, I was NFL, so I was working on a show called That Other Pregame Show, which
Okay.
aired from 8 a.m. to noon live every Sunday.
Wow.
Hour live show. I would have to be in New York City at 4 o'clock in the morning.
That sounds crazy. I'm watching the morning show on Apple TV right now.
I wanna start that so bad.
Oh my god, you have to start it. My friend actually texted
Okay.
me last night and was like, because she's like, "I've only seen Jennifer Aniston in, like, Friends and, like, rom-coms." So,
Yeah,
like,
same.
seeing this side of her, it's so good.
Okay, I'll
Um,
have to watch it.
but, I mean, if you work in production, I think you would love it because what I was gonna say is, like, it's, like, all the time, like, especially live TV, like, you're like, "Oh, my brain could not do it."
No,
So,
and, like, the
yeah.
amount of anxiety you get, like, I have definitely made mistakes on air, but, like, there was one time, I then went into college football, and I was doing I think it was, like, an Army-Navy game or one of those teams, maybe it was, like, Army West Point or something, and whoever was doing it wrote out Army, but put, like, the Navy logo, and that ran on TV.
Okay.
Screaming that person got on headset where everyone that is working on the show can hear. It is insane. To the point where, like, I now look at words and I'm like, "No, I misspelled that," like, and then I, like, will Google it and then spell it out, like, letter for letter. I'm like, "No, that's right."
Not even second guess yourself, like, triple,
I
quadruple.
started second guessing everything I was
Wow, okay,
It was kinda
okay.
nuts. I mean, it gave me amazing opportunities. I got to
Yeah.
work the Pats-Rams Super Bowl. I got to
Wow.
work an Army-Navy game at Lincoln Financial Fields. I
Okay.
got to do some Final Four work, and
Yeah.
then from there, I was kinda like I've been in this position now for 3, about to go on a 4th season.
Yeah.
When am I moving up? Because normally, if you're in the industry, you jump from, like, the graphics department to the edits department, which is
Mhm.
not that big of a jump. But I had already been 3 years. I was like, "How much longer am I gonna have to wait to get there?"
Yeah.
So, my supervisor had put in his 2 weeks. Another
Okay.
girl the day before had put in, like, her 2 weeks. I called my boss and I said, "Find me another position or I'm also leaving."
Okay.
And they were like, "Okay." So this was 2021, this was coming out of COVID,
Yeah.
and I get a call from the head of production or VP of production, and he was like, "All right, we have this opportunity. It's called NFL Slime Time. It's a new show that's gonna be airing on Nickelodeon. Do
Okay.
you wanna go try that?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll go try it." And he was like, "If it doesn't work out for you there, then you can make your decision." And I was like, "Okay, great." Little did I know I was gonna have to just, like I went from being in, like, across the street from the main CBS broadcast building to in the main CBS broadcast building. I
Okay.
went from wearing headsets and never talking to anybody to Nate Burleson being my coworker.
That's
Like,
crazy.
is that not the most insane thing?
That's nuts.
Like, I mean, I was working with Dylan Schefter, Adam Schefter's daughter.
Wow.
There was one morning I walked into the control room and I went, "Good morning, Adam." Like, it was the most casual thing in the world.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I walked by Brandon Marshall has complimented my outfits before. I saw Phil Simms in a Santa suit. Like,
That's crazy.
going in there was nuts. I did graphics for a season, and then I got to be a producer for 2 seasons, which meant I was writing full scripts, I was pulling plays, I was, doing my own research, I was doing everything. I was picking the games that we wanted to cover, I was writing the script for talent, I was re-recording them, we were editing them together, I was telling my editor, "I want this, I want that." Once we had all that together, then the fun began. So
Yeah.
for that, I would take one highlight could consist of, like, 15 to 20 shots. I would
Wow.
go down the list and I would write what I wanted the art department to do to each shot. I would be like, "All right, shot 4, turn the football into a Krabby Patty and turn the end zone into the Krusty Krab." Like, the world was my oyster.
This is actually nuts because, again, yeah, it's a kids show, but like the memes that came from this, like knowing that you were the mastermind behind this, I love that you were involved in that. I do think watching it too, like it really was kid friendly. Like it
Oh,
was
yeah. Oh
not.
my god. I mean, talk about you wanna talk about being the only girl in a room full of men. We would be writing scripts and they would be like, "Oh, yeah, alright, let's talk about the defense," and it was Nate Burleson, who is an ex-NFL player,
Yeah.
and I mean, the show's been on for a few seasons, so, I don't even know, like a 12 to 14-year-old boy. So, like, you're also writing what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
So, the man that had also been in the industry way longer than me. I was the youngest producer, and I was
Yeah.
one of 2 females. We would all be sitting in this room. It would be me and my head producer, the showrunner, my editor, some other random guy,
Mhm.
the random people always had to be in there because they also thought they had a say. And they'd be like, "All right, we're gonna have the little kid be like, 'Oh, yeah, that's some big D, talk about defense.'" And I'm like,
No.
"We're not saying that. There is no room for that in this show. Like, we're not saying that." And they would be like,
Oh my
"Why?" And I
gosh.
was like, "The big D?" And they were like, "Oh, thank God we have you in here." The Christmas episode, somebody from wardrobe gave Nate a sweater that said "Big Gift Energy." And I was like, "Do y'all
This is for children.
want
Also
that?"
the history of Nickelodeon too, like
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, you wanna talk that documentary came out. I mean, I was fired last season.
okay.
So it was the season before that when the Dark Side of Television came out, that documentary on Nickelodeon.
Yikes.
And my show specifically had nothing actually to do with Nickelodeon.
Yes.
When I tell you everything about that show was done as if it was CBS Sports doing it, we were
Yeah.
in CBS's building, we were using CBS's tape and
Yeah.
video and, like, all of their resources. The only thing that made it Nickelodeon was, 1, that it aired on Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
and 2, Nickelodeon's art department would put on, their stuff.
Yeah.
It was so far removed from that whole dark side of TV, but people would comment on my videos and message me being like, "You're a pedophile." And I was like,
Wow.
I'm not. I actually am the only person that's, like, actively looking
Was
out for these
keeping these
people.
children safe. Yeah, literally.
I mean, it's such a different time, and I'm glad we're doing more to actively protect the children on set, as they should be.
Yeah.
But you would be surprised by, I don't even know if it's just, like, negligence of
Yeah.
people not thinking a step further into
Yes.
maybe why we shouldn't air this for children's television.
Yes, that's a good word for it. Not thinking. And I mean, this is a good segue into your name one player story because, like you said before, about just men will sometimes, and I've said this pretty well every episode that I do the whole name one player story. Like, using the term men is a blanket statement, 100%. There are men who do not act this way. Men sometimes don't think. And again, blanket statement, but, sometimes they're not thinking all that clearly maybe isn't the best word, but just thinking in the same way that women do and that what you would expect of society to think. So, a nice segue to that is obviously the name of the show called Name One Player. And that came to be from the countless times that I've been, one, asked to name one player on the teams that I love, but then also just kind of that air of being treated differently because I'm a woman talking about sports, expressing my love of sports. And that automatic, you worded it perfectly. Like, they just see the long hair, they see that you're a woman talking, and then they just stop listening. So I ask every guest this if they have any favorite stories of times that something like that has happened to them.
When anyone this is what has also become, like, the, best, like, comeback to any name one player, you think you know sports, you're a woman, you don't know sports. My LinkedIn does my talking for me.
I love it. I love
You
it.
wanna tell me I don't know sports, but that I worked with the NFL for 7 years? I will let you think that. And it goes hand in hand with, like, not letting people rage bait you. I don't have to prove myself to
Of
anyone.
course.
Because
Of
at the end of
course.
the day, I know that I can hold a conversation about the NFL, and I love when, like, a man will make himself look stupid trying to outdo me.
I
Because if
love it.
that's your goal to prove your point that much, go ahead. The floor
Yeah.
is yours.
No, I think I wrote that down and I circled it now that you've said it again about just not letting yourself get rage baited. And I do think that is a major part of it. Like, one, yes, there's that insecurity of the men being like, "You don't know what you're talking about," like, prove that you know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
But also just, like, I think there is a group of them that do know that it's going or hope that it's going to get under a woman's
Oh,
skin when it does that and,
absolutely.
like, piss them off and then get them all mad, and then they can be like, "Oh, look, they're mad about it." It's unfortunate that the onus almost is on us as women to, like, not get rage
Yeah.
baited, but I agree. It's like when you see that side of it and, like, you then almost like Uno reverse rage bait them back by not getting upset.
No, being like,
But
"Oh, I'm sorry, were you there interviewing players during the Rams-Pats Super Bowl?"
yeah,
"Oh, no, oh, you weren't? Oh, that's right, that was me, sorry." Like,
that was you.
once you accept the fact that you can be the smartest person in the room, but you
Yeah,
don't have to prove it,
love that.
you win. You win the game. Because, like, I don't know whether it's because I got a little sister or little cousins that are in middle school and all they do is rage bait me,
Yeah.
but I feel like I finally turned that corner where it's like, I don't have to name one player.
You can name anything. You can name more than majority of these men could name, I'm sure. But it's like being able to find that confidence and almost that power of, like you said, knowing that you very well may be the smartest person in the room, but you don't need to.
You don't have to say it. You don't have to
Yeah, and
say it.
it's like what I do find from these conversations with men, you rarely actually get what you think you're gonna get out of proving it. Like, being able to name off everything, like, it doesn't really end up making me feel any better, like, if anything, it's like,
No.
Oh, now I fell into their little trap of, like, feeling like I need to prove myself, but
Yeah.
exactly what you said, you don't need to prove yourself. Like, if you have that confidence in yourself and I talking to you for we've almost been talking for an hour and a half. Like, I know you know what you're talking about, and you know what you're talking about, and all the women that I see online, like, I'm so confident in them, and they're confident in themselves. Like, we don't need to who cares what these men
I don't
think?
go
Who
up to men
cares?
and ask them to name all the characters in Call of Duty. Like,
That's so funny.
name
Maybe I
4
should start
different
doing
types
that
of
now.
coffees. What? Like,
Well,
why can't just a person enjoy what they wanna enjoy without being questioned about it?
exactly,
Who cares?
exactly, exactly, and I had a guest on, we were talking about hockey, her name is Liz, and she mentioned that, like, the way that her brain works, like, she's a Winnipeg Jets fan, and she's
Okay.
like, "I can name every single player on who's ever played for the franchise since they came back in whatever year it was."
Mhm.
But she's like, "I can also name every single country in the world. I can name I'm my brain works at naming things well.
Yeah.
I know nothing about that country. I don't
Yeah.
know every single thing about all of those players, but I can name the players. So you asking me to name things doesn't prove my knowledge
You
really on
ask me to
anything."
name all 50 states, I'm gonna start singing the song. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona. Like, that's like the same. That's like going back to like middle school education. It was like just
Yeah,
memorizing things to memorize that.
yeah,
It doesn't
yeah,
prove a point. It doesn't make you any smarter. Being able to have actual in-depth conversations about multitude of like peel back the onion layers.
100%.
Then I know what you're talking about.
100%. Well, honestly, Kenny, this has been a great conversation. This is gonna be a longer episode, but I'm happy about it. I'm excited about it
That'll be
because
fun.
truly, like I was just saying, I don't know what I'm gonna be able to cut out because everything that you've said has been so insightful and awesome
Thank you.
and kind of like a little bit crazy, made me a little bit of a Jets fan.
Hey, you ever wanna come to a game, listen, I can't pay people to come to games with me anymore, so you wanna come, like, there's a ticket with your name on it right next to it.
That's amazing. Okay, well, I'm just trying to think how the way of like the scheduling works and like with the rotation of like all the team and all that kind of stuff with the AFC and the NFC. But yeah, anytime there's a Vikings
Listen,
play
you
in
ever wanna come out here, you let me know, and then you have to if we do that because I did say I have a goal of going to every stadium.
stadium.
I've knocked a few off of my list. Have
Okay.
not been to US Bank, right?
Yes.
Haven't
Beautiful.
been to US Bank. So
Oh
you
my gosh.
life, you gotta then take me to US Bank.
Okay, 100%. We
I like
can
it.
online shake on it now. The
I
next
love it.
time Vikings Jets play whatever game it is,
Wherever it is, we're
we're
going.
going. Okay,
I'm so
amazing.
down.
Love that. Absolutely. Well, again, Kenny, thank you so much. I loved hearing about your thoughts on the Jets and your experience working in sports, but also not making that, your whole identity and knowing that you have
Yeah.
so much to share about what you love. And I'm so excited to see what is to come next with all of your social media and everything. Quickly, too, where can everybody follow you?
Kenny sees new shays on TikTok and Instagram. I don't really post that much on Instagram though. So Kendall Gregory _ if you want to follow me on Instagram.
Well, Kenny, I hope you enjoy a nice, relaxing bye week.
Thank
Hopefully, your
you.
fantasy and survivor pools all do okay, but you won't have to worry about the Jets. Thank you so much, Kenny.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much to Kenny for that amazing conversation. Like, this is literally immediately after us hanging up. So, who knows how long this episode will actually be. Once I edit everything, again, I do try to keep my episodes to under an hour if I can. 55 minutes, I feel like is a sweet spot. But this one's definitely going to be longer because I don't know what I can cut out of this conversation. It's all been so insightful and so meaningful. So, thank you again, Kenny, for coming on, and best of luck to the New York Jets. And best of luck to Justin Fields. I will say it, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for these guys. I hope things not even well, I do hope they can turn around, but even more so, I hope the amount of criticism that this team is getting can turn around. And I hope just everybody can remember that it's just a game, and most of the time we are just watching it from our homes or from the stadium. And of course, these are teams that we love, like, with our whole hearts and souls, but at the same time, it's really not that deep. It's really not that deep. It's never more deep than a player's emotional well-being. Let's just keep that in mind, everybody. And yeah, everybody definitely go watch this Boston Red Sox documentary on Netflix. I will be watching that as well. But yeah, I think that's really all from me. I don't really have too much else to add. Again, great conversation. This is the reason why I do this podcast, to connect with other women and to share their amazing perspectives with the rest of the world, really. I have had so many wonderful conversations with women who love sports, women who work in sports, women who their passion is sports. And they just get me so fired up. Like, these conversations get me so happy and literally do set my soul on fire. So I want every single person to have that feeling. So I hope you all enjoyed that conversation with Kenny as much as I did. Next week, we are going to have one of my closest, dearest friends, Taylor, on. I've mentioned her like so many times on this podcast, but she is a major Blue Jays fan. And by the time the episode is out, not this episode, but next week's episode that I haven't filmed yet, by the time that's out, we will know if the Blue Jays or the Dodgers have won the World Series, and we are going to film a episode talking about that. That is going to be heavily focused on the Toronto Blue Jays. So definitely looking forward to that. I actually spent some time this week working out all of my guests up until mid-December, which is crazy. But we have a great lineup for you. I'm just so excited for the conversations that we are going to continue to have. And I am so grateful for all the conversations that we have had on the Name One Player podcast. I just love it. I love it, and I love all of you guys. If you loved this episode, which I have a hard time believing that anybody couldn't love this episode because it was a great episode, but if you loved the episode, please be sure to subscribe to the Name One Player podcast, like the podcast. Depending on which platform you're listening on, it all kind of looks a little bit different, but you can like it, you can rate it. 5 stars, I think, is best. You can follow the show. Some platforms also let you comment on the episode, so I would definitely love to hear from you and your thoughts on my conversation with Kenny. And yeah, I just appreciate every single person who is listening today. You guys are the freaking best. That's really all that I have to say to that. All right, everybody, that is enough for me. I am going to go. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Take care, everyone. Bye.